Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Tahir Khalid, and I'd like to welcome to our program here on Sharjah TV, In Searching the Truth. And we hope today, if you're one of those people who are still searching, trying to find the path to righteousness and justice and honesty, and all of the good qualities that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent the prophets of Allah to this world at one time or another to encourage and invite people of different eras to understand who they should worship and how they should worship, then you're looking, inshallah ta'ala, at the right program. And today we want to talk about the message of Jesus Christ, alayhi salam, in relationship to Islam. And not to make so much of a strong program for comparative religion for one or the other, but just to talk about some of the misconceptions and ideas that people have about Jesus, number one, and also, alayhi salam, and what they think that Muslims think about Jesus, alayhi salam. So the best thing is what? To start with the word of Allah. And so we'll start from surah number 19, ayat number 27 and 28. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. At length she brought the babe to her people, carrying him in her arms. They said, O Mary, truly an amazing thing hast thou brought, O sister of Aaron. Thy father was not a man of evil, nor their mother a woman unchaste. Meaning that the Israelis or Jews or the tribe of Israel, Bani Israel, were shocked when Mary, the mother of Jesus, appeared with Jesus in her arms, as they knew her to be a pious woman who came from a pious family. So they said, what is this? What have you done? Of course, the accusations came. They saw with this baby, what's going on here? So in surah number 19, ayat number 29 to 33, Allah clarifies this for us. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. But she pointed to the babe. They said, how can we talk to one who is a child in the cradle? He said, I am indeed a servant of Allah. He hath given me revelation and made me a prophet. This is Jesus speaking in the cradle in defense of his mother, and at the same time informing the Bani Israel, the children of Israel, that he was sent as a prophet of Allah. He was a servant of Allah, and Allah sent a revelation to him. And he continued, and he hath made me blessed wheresoever I be, and he hath made and enjoined upon me prayer and charity as long as I live, and he hath made me kind to my mother, and not overbearing or miserable. So peace is on me, the day I was born, the day that I will die, and the day that I shall be raised up to life again. So this was the statement of Jesus, alayhi salam, in the cradle as a babe, in defense of his mother, as we read from the Quran in translation in English, to the Bani Israel. Interesting, though, we understand from the scholars that there were few who believed him. There were some who believed. There were others who said, oh, this is magic. This is a very high level of magic. He is a magician, or a magician is working, as an example. And then there were those who just refused to believe or accept this. What we believe as Muslims is that Jesus alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as a sign of his power, his infinite power, that he created Jesus of a mother who was a pious woman who had never been touched by a man. And this partially to show the possibilities of creation. He created Adam from earth, from nothing. He created Eve from the rib of Adam. And the children of Eve and Adam came from both of them. And now we have Jesus, the son of Mary, alayhi salam, come from a woman without her being in contact with a man, which is called the Immaculate Conception. So we believe that Allah made this possible as an early sign to the Bani Israel that Jesus alayhi salam, was very special, and that Allah sent him specifically for the children of Israel to guide them because they were astray. And one of the signs was that Allah sent this sign as a babe. Everyone knowing, not possible for a babe to speak. This is why they said, you expect us to listen to this babe? This child, infant, not even a child. So the people knew that without question that this had to be from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those who had faith. And for those who were in disbelief, of course, they would doubt this. It was, oh, this is just a new form of magic. This is something new that we haven't seen before. It's trickology, as an example. So we need to understand, what is it that we believe? We believe that the Muslims are the ones who are carrying the banner that Jesus, that he brought. And that banner, unfortunately, and what he brought today has been somewhat confused. And as a result, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Arabia more than 600 years after Jesus to clarify and to confirm the message of Jesus alayhi salam, and to finalize the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to all the prophets and the messengers, and to conclude, to bring the final book in the Quran from all of the revelations that have been brought down to those who came before. And today, and I always ask Christians this question, who looks more like the picture? And we're not saying that he looked like this. Allah knows best. But this is the picture that the Christians have themselves drawn. Who looks the most like Jesus alayhi salam? 2,000 years later, and not just in Arabia. People can say, oh, well, you know, he was in Philistine, and as a result, during that era, people were dressing in that fashion. So we don't have to dress that way. I said, okay, very well. But we, the Muslims, are saying what? That the dress that we identify, simplistic dress that covers our body fully, is a sign of modesty and piety and humility. And that surely Jesus alayhi salam, he represented this. And we ask ourselves, for those who have chosen to say, oh, well, this is old-fashioned. This is 2006. Why should we dress like that now? We're not living in the hills. We're not herding sheep and goats. This is not from our culture or society. And we say that in the Sunnah, meaning the way of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Allah has put some special essence in this. In each and every item that we attempt to implement into our life, that Allah puts something there and there's some benefit in it. No matter how small or how big. See, so we believe this. The Prophet ﷺ told us more or less that the person in the last days, the person in the time of confusion and contradiction, as we see today, madness, who tries to implement my sunnah, meaning my way, he stands for my sunnah in that time, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give him the reward of a shaheed. A shaheed is one who is killed, who stands forth calling people to the belief in the oneness of Allah. That under all circumstances he refuses to change back to idolatry or to any way of disbelief. That in front of the worst tyrant, he's still calling people, I believe in the one and only God. I worship him only. I will not accept any other way but this way. So when we look at this time, 2006, for the people who are promoting nakedness, lewdness, perversion. We say to you, it was very clear from the times of old, and it's clear today of the message and the messengers which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent to us. And that we, the people of today, have decided that we will take the clothes off them. And we have decided that we will follow this way of ignorance and darkness, the way of Satan and his disciples. And it's clear, and there is no doubt about it. And this we have in common. For Christians who say, oh no, this is not true, we say, no, you lie. You lie. That Jesus, alayhi salam, invited the people to truth, righteousness, humility, modesty, good deeds and actions. And it is very clear for those things which we do know about him and which he presented, that he was clear on these facts. And that he invited people ultimately to worship the one and only God, to worship no other God but he. And we find this consistent with all of the prophets of Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us, more or less, that he will support those who are righteous. He will support those who stand fast in the face of adversity, who invite others to believe in his oneness. And I want to read to you the first commandment of the 10 commandments that was handed down to Moses, and who Jesus came to reaffirm the law of Moses. I am the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto them or thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I am the Lord thy God. It is very clear. It is very clear that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never accepted that we should worship anything or anyone but him. And that Jesus alayhi salam clearly understood this and came with this message, as all of the prophets who came before him. And it is up to those people who present polytheism, who present the Trinity, to prove this, to prove that this is something distinctly different that came from God, when all of the prophets that we know who came before, they called the people to the oneness of Allah. And surely Jesus alayhi salam called the people to the oneness of God. And that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was the last and final prophet and messenger, clearly and distinctly, without question and without doubt, sat with the Christians of his time, sat with the Jews of his time and the pagans of his time, and made it very clear to all of them, to their scholars, to their leaders, to the kings whom he could reach, that the belief in the oneness of Allah and believing that Allah knows all and that nothing happens without his knowledge, nothing happens without his permission, is the only means of salvation for all of humanity until the day of judgment. That there is no exception in relationship to this, and that is essential for all of us for the protection of our eternity. If you are one who believes in eternity, and shame on you if you say, well, I don't believe in eternity, I'm living for the here and now. Because if you're talking about you're living for the here and now, your time on this earth is a very short one, but your time in the grave will be a very long one. The people who are here in the year 6 have been in the grave for 2,000 years. And how many people have been in the grave for tens of thousands of years? We don't know. And how many people will be in the grave, ourselves including, till the day of judgment? None of us know these facts. So how is it that we can live and feel safe if we're living our life with a big question mark? How can one feel safe with this? How can one feel safe with a lack of true knowledge, a lack of what Jesus really said and what Jesus brought, and clearly understand what his life symbolize, and how his life in relationship to the other prophets of Allah who came before him, and clearly how his life related and message and mission related to the message and mission of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Surely, if you're out there and you don't understand that, and you don't pursue the knowledge to gain a deeper understanding of this relationship, that you will be at loss. And that is why we're here, to inform those who wish to listen, to inform those who want to hear the truth, because there have been many lies that have been spread for whatever the reasons may be. And those who have spread the lies, they know. And those who have spread the lies and died, now they are paying the price. The question we have to ask ourselves, is this going to be our condition as well? What will be our condition after death? Is it all over? Will I turn into a butterfly? Will I just dissolve into the earth or into the air or into the sea? And we say no. We say no, that this starts the next dimension of your time. That death is just an extension of life. It is another aspect of life. And if we don't understand this, that we will be the losers. And that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to clarify this and make it easy for everyone who sets foot on this earth to understand this message, how to obey it, how to be successful, how to gain the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our life, how to come close to Allah. So think about it, and if you're a Christian, really read up and study what Jesus brought in relationship to what people are saying about the Trinity. Jesus brought the truth. What people are saying about the Trinity is not true. We thank you for joining us. We look forward to seeing you in future programs. And we hope that you get some benefit. And we look forward to hearing from you.
أفمن شرح الله صدره للإسلام فهو على نور من ربه فويل للقاسية قلوبهم من ذكر الله